Welcome back to my channel. I have shared this video before, but today I decided to bring it up again. Why? Because it is too sweet to forget. It is like bad Nollywood movie. You just want to watch it again and again. How many of you remember when a certain governor, Uzodinma in Imo State, stood in public, opened his mouth confidently and promised Imo State youths thousands of jobs? And note, these jobs are not in Imo, but in Europe. And
by December this year, 4,000 Imo youths will be employed in Europe. And once the employment letter comes, the governor will pay for your 8 tickets.
He did not say, I will build factory. He did not say, I will revive industries. He did not say, I will open farm settlements. None of those. No. He said, don't worry. Jobs are waiting for you. Abroad. Hey. Ndi monye melo nka. Abroad ke. Now, abroad is non-Imo industrial layout. So imagine, instead of going to Ministry of Labor in Owerri, you will now go to Germany to sign attendance sheets. Inokwa? Yeah? Our father say, okay. Oh. My brothers and sisters, this is not governance again. No. This one is export business. Actually, export on the Imo. Imo youths have become tomatoes. They are packaged in a container. They're going to ship them to Europe. Maybe when they reach there, they will use them to garnish salad. Why am I saying this? Because this is the kind of logic that fits this type of promise, this type of nonsense promise. But let's look at it small. This is how brain drain works. You know what it's called, brain drain? That is how it works. Instead of creating jobs at home, our leaders clap when young doctors, engineers, and IT specialists run away. They don't care that the hospitals are empty. If they've built now, if we have. They don't care that the industries are dead. They are busy acting like travel agents. Uzodinma come go travel agent. Ndi mongwano ke ship wono n'obodo oyibo ka tomato. For me, Uzodinma is politician during the day, and he's a visa officer by night. He wants to ship all Imo people away. Though if it were some people, I say, oh, no, without shipping. Now, let me ask, is there any law in Nigeria that forbids governors from building factories? Does any law stop them from building factories and employing the youths there? I want to know. I don't think there is any law. So, is there any law that stops them from creating jobs? I don't think there is any law. So, why are they now outsourcing employment to Europe? I want to ask, please help me ask Hope Uzodinma. Yes, this video is quite long that it was done, more than a year. But let me, somebody should ask Hope Uzodinma. Is Europe part of Imo local government? Maybe after Owerri West, Owerri North, we now have Owerri London or Owerri Germany. Is that what Hope Uzodinma is trying to tell us? Yeah? Now, If you think about it, the promise itself is comedy. Yeah. I don't know whether some people are taking it serious. The promise itself is comedy. Looks like election campaign. Vote for me, and I'll make sure your children sweep streets in Rome. Hey, hello. I'll make sure your children wash plate in Paris and carry load in London. I think that video was before the election. I think so. Now, you will ask these particular people, these wicked politicians ruling us, who told them that Imo destiny is, that the destiny of Imo people is to wash dishes or plates in Europe? Who told that guy called Uzodinma? Yes, when our people travel, they send money home. That is true. But tell me, who will remain then to build the state? Who? You can't build Imo by Western Union. No. You build Imo State by industry, schools, farms, technology. But these leaders, they don't see it like that. To them, the best development strategy is empty your state, empty the youth in your states, scatter your people abroad, clap when they send remittance. That is what he thinks. That, you know, he knows how to play with the minds of the youth. You know, sometimes I imagine if another governor wants to copy him, he will promise things like this. Don't worry, vote for me. I'll give you jobs in mass. Now, you know, next time they want to copy him, they will say, they will give you jobs in Jupiter or Mars. He will even tell you he and Elon Musk had agreement. Imo youths will be the first cleaners in the moon. Hello. That is how ridiculous it sounds. Very, very ridiculous. These guys are getting out with this. They are getting out. Nobody is querying them. That is why he will play with the minds of many. On a serious note, my people, I saw how people heard him in that video. On a serious note, we must stop clapping for these fake promises and these fake people. If a governor says, I will give you jobs abroad, you don't need to clap. You laugh first, then ask, what of jobs in Owerri? What of industries in Olu? What of factories in Okiwe? Our future cannot be built in another man's land. It must be built here, in Owerri. Or Guinea. So, dear governor, you are still there. I know you are planning to replace Imo State with someone after you, someone after your heart. Whether your son or your... just like Roche has tried to replace himself with his son-in-law. Don't know who you are going to replace yourself with. I want to thank you for your promise of jobs in Europe. But next time, I beg, try and remember, Imo State is not in Europe. Imo State is in Nigeria. Until then, my people, stay woke. Drop your comments below. If you were promised job in Europe, what type of work do you think it would be? Cleaner? Nurse? Or personal assistant to Queen Elizabeth? And maybe her ghost. You know, Queen Elizabeth is gone. Maybe you do personal assistant to her ghost. Hell, Mother Fusiana. Of what I say? Then none of man no carriana, manama carriana hanife. Hell, we fire half. And let me tell you, this is wickedness. So it is wickedness. They are playing with your minds. When he goes back, he will say, Amuatoro. That is what he says. Look at the kind of nonsense promise he's giving. Meanwhile, viewers, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because here, we don't forget fake promises. We replay them mockingly. And that is what I just did. In case no the chef go at and can't alone. Overseas somewhere he can jab on your Marivene or Janambra. Abia, Enugu. Eba kan ska hapia. My name na Azuka OJ. Afamwo Azuka OJ.